Welcome to the What's Your Truth podcast. Let me do this again because I usually am on. Take two. Welcome to the What's Your Truth podcast, the show that not only showcases the best of independent artists, but also explores what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. And this is the first ever in-person What's Your Truth podcast interview, so you're special, sir.
I feel special.
You are very special.
So my teachers told me.
So today on the show, we have Jason Haxton. Now, I met Jason one fateful day at NAMM last year when this tall, statuesque, blonde surfer-looking cat strolled up to my booth with his equally blonde, statuesque wife. Well, to be fair, she was definitely prettier, but equally statuesque, and inquired about a guitar. Needless to say, my charm and wit won them over, and they took a guitar home that day. Little did I know that was the beginning of what has already grown into one of the most productive artistic relationships, not to mention one of the most amazing friendships I've ever had. But enough gushing. Let's talk about Jason. You're welcome. Born and bred on rock and roll, Jason got his first electric guitar on Christmas Eve 1985, and this kicked off what he terms as his journey into rock and roll. In true rock and roll spirit, he proceeded to smash his junior acoustic guitar into 1,000 pieces, threw the remains into the fireplace, and lit it up, watching the remnants of a much less rocking lifestyle go up in smoke. The rest, as they say, is history. Fast forward to today, and Jason is one of the premier live musicians and studio producers on the market in NorCal today. He's been in several of Sacramento's staple live acts, including Groundwave, Fast Fairlane, and blues rock band Strictly for Kicks. He most recently formed the bands Pumping Irony and Rosie and the Riptides, and he's getting ready to retake the NorCal scene by storm. Woo! He's also the founder of writing group The Rock Project, of which yours truly has the honor of being a part. We released our first single titled All in Your Mind just as 2022 came to a close, and we have a few more in the works and so much more in store. In short, Jason is clearly the hardest working man in the NorCal music scene, and as I mentioned above, one hell of a friend. It's a pleasure to be with him today, in person no less. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Haxton.
Thank you, Johnnie. That was generous.
You have a lot to live up to.
I do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You're on the spot now. So shall we get going?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So my first question is, how did you decide that you wanted to become a musician?
Okay, well this goes way back. This goes way back to my youth. My real youth. Just being able to remember things, youth. We were living in the Bay Area, my dad, my mom, me, my sister, and living in a duplex or a quadruplex, I can't remember. We were dirt poor, of course. My dad was working at Bofors printing, so he was running printing presses, and my mom would, occasionally sell Avon or stuff like that. But needless to say, not a lot of money. So we were down there, and on the peninsula. Moved a lot, so I don't remember which city it was in. But a guy named Lee Raymond, who was a Vietnam vet, severely traumatized from it, was a neighbor and he was a folk singer as well, guitar. So he was the one that actually introduced me to guitar and playing music, and taught me some simple songs and such. So that's how it started. And then I tried that guitar that I busted up. I don't remember when I got that one, but that was at that point I had no idea about action and how you could actually change the way a guitar plays. And the action was this high off the freaking fretboard, and it hurt to play. It was no fun at all. So that was difficult. I might have tried it in 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. But 8th grade, my parents got divorced, and I moved in with my dad in Loomis. And that is where I met a friend that lived down the street. It was a new development. His dad played guitar, so he was playing electric guitar, and then I wanted an electric guitar. And so I got the Kramer Striker Mod V, 400 ST, very dangerous. It was big, very pointy, metallic red. I think my mom got that for Christmas, in '85, and that's when I really started playing. From that point forward, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd play guitar, go to school, come home, play guitar, eat dinner, play guitar, fall asleep with my guitar. So that's how I got my start, and then formed bands. And stuff like that, yeah.
So you literally like ate, lived, breathed, literally slept guitar.
Yeah, for a few years, yeah, for years or so, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So then, what was the first experience you remember having with music, like at all?
Well, I don't remember it so much. But no, not that.
Okay.
There's a picture of me as a baby. I don't even know if I could walk yet. And my dad was putting together his like Pioneer stereo system from way back in the day. And you see I'm leaning over the box, my head's in the box. So that was not really music, but that was my first, and obviously not a memory, but it's a cute story. Other than that, I remember riding the Volkswagen bus that my dad had and listening to the Beatles and Elvin Bishop on 8-track.
Wow.
Yeah.
8-track.
8-track.
Jason just dated himself.
Yeah, I'm old.
You do not look old on that. Whatever you're doing, it's working, my friend.
Thanks.
It's all that French toast we had this morning. It's keeping you young.
I'm surprised my brain's working this well right now after all that carb loading.
Oh my God, right? So who are the biggest influences on your work and why?
Interesting. Well, let me see. When I first started playing, it was Van Halen, Rush, and Led Zeppelin. So those were the three main influences that I had, and I started right out of the gate. Started learning Eruption, started learning YYZ, and for Led Zeppelin, rock and roll, of course, rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
So those were the first main influences. As of today, it's a tough call. Yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot has changed.
Fair point. That's okay, man.
Yeah.
That's okay. Some things just are always there. They just stay the same. That's not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Right on. And those are great influences. Well, here's a question for you. How has your art influenced other people?
Well, how's my art influenced other people? I guess my work ethic in firstly putting together Strictly for Kicks back in 2000, 2001 or something like that. That was the second year my dad went ahead and asked me to put together a blues band to play at his private barbecue and blues that he was putting on with another friend. It was Bob and Barry and Bob's Barbecue and Blues. My dad would smoke.
Right on.
Smoke meat, and they'd get a couple kegs out there, and we'd play outside.
Hell yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. First year, I couldn't find anybody to hang with me. Second year, I was asked again, and my buddy Dirk Van Stralen, who I went to high school with, and he actually taught me. He showed me tablature. He actually hand tabbed out Johnnie Be Good during geometry class.
Oh, cool.
For me. That was fun.
That's awesome.
So I brought him back. So he hadn't been playing in a band in quite a while. Harry Baumgartner, who was was the drummer in the band, happened to be working on Dirk's parents' deck, and he hadn't been playing in a while. And then Clark Bishop, who I worked with, it was DST and Novus back then. It was now Amdocs, but he was an analyst that sat kitty corner community cubes just on my team. Found out he could sing, asked him, and he hadn't sang since high school in a band. So I brought them all together, and we worked our tails off, had a ton of fun.
Yes.
And basically restarted all their musical careers.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's cool, man. I can relate to that too. I'd say being on the receiving end of something like that, where like there was a point in time in my life where I was really hadn't been playing for a while, and like I wanted to, but I was like caught up in a bunch of life stuff, and then I found this band and audition, and they wanted me to play, and then it was like, we got this show in 2 weeks, and it's 45 songs. Can you learn them? And you just make it work, man. and I did, but that's really cool that you did that for them, and that is true. Like getting just the wheels turning so rapidly and intensively like that, it can revitalize and kickstart your career, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, well done. That's really cool. That's a huge influence to have on other artists.
Thanks.
We have other people out there making music because of you, Jason.
It's a big deal.
Seriously, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So, do you have any pre-show or pre-studio rituals?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That's fine.
No, not at all. Just try not to panic.
Just show up, plug in, and go.
Yeah, I don't warm up. I don't. I mean, if I'm running sound, obviously I'm scrambling around looking for all my gear and putting it together. That's a pre-show ritual.
Well, that's a fact.
So it's, other than that, nope. Just trying to get the gig on time, and that's it.
Which, by the way, get to your gigs on time, please.
Yeah, really.
If you're a musician watching this, I mean, you'd be surprised how much of a difference that makes in just the way people view you, just on a professionalism level.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. It's good to be on time. So, what risks, if any, have you personally taken for the sake of your music?
Well, can I twist that a little bit for the sake of music in general?
Sure.
Okay. Huge risk, failure, but in some way, in other ways, it was a huge success. When 2000, my band Certificates was playing at the Northern California Blues Festival every year from 2005, 6, 7, 8. So we played the festival, and then the festival owner, the park system that he was playing in, they upped the rates, and to a point where it would no longer be profitable for him to put on the festival or even break even. And the festival was a benefit for charity. So he didn't do it that year. And he met with me come to the end of the year that he didn't play, he didn't put it on, and offered me the festival. So I took it on. This is the same time the Monterey Blues Festival was failing. And I'm like, well, I'm going to put on a festival that, it's only one stage, but it's going to have a festival vibe like Monterey.
Mm-hmm.
So found partners, put it on in Auburn, up in Auburn, California. Elvin Bishop was my first headliner.
Wow.
No, yeah, he was the first headliner that I had. So I got to meet my
one of your influences.
one of my earliest influences, and he makes kiwi jam.
What?
And he gave me a jar of his kiwi jam. I gave him I won't tell you how many thousands of dollars I gave him. And he gave me a jar of kiwi jam.
That's cool.
Yes.
The most expensive jar of jam you ever bought.
Absolutely. So we did that festival up there. It was a decent turnout, but it wasn't enough. So I lost tens of thousands of dollars on that. But I was trying to help keep the blues alive,
mm-hmm.
and I also was bringing in youth bands.
Yeah.
Second year actually, I had contests for youth bands
That's
to perform at this giant festival, and two of them ended up making it.
Wow.
So the second year, I'm like, well, it didn't work that year, but that was an establishment year.
Sure.
Now they know where I am. Now they know where the festival is. Let's kick it up a notch. So I did a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday day festival.
Oh, Woodstock.
Yeah, and lost even more money. And that put a lot of strain on marriage and finances. I mean, a lot. For the last is probably the ripple effects are probably still here.
Wow.
From that, but I paid everyone.
Wow.
I made sure everybody was paid. The vendors, the artists, the security team, everybody got paid. I took all the risk. Yeah, so that's the biggest risk.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man. Well, thanks for sticking your neck out there for everyone else to benefit. My God.
No worries,
Jeez. I think that may be the biggest answer to that question I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And so what's the craziest risk you've ever seen another artist take for their craft?
I mean, just when people decide to go and live off of music like you do, that's inspiring and the biggest risk. So you might be
Wow.
you might be that person, Johnny.
Good God, I've never been the answer to these questions. Well, thank you. I'm flattered.
Yeah, right.
Maybe a little bit deranged, but flattered. Okay. Wow. I'm a little speechless here. Thank you. Good thing I have my words written out ahead of time. So, what's one thing about you that would shock everyone to know?
Sorry, I can't say the first thing that comes to mind there.
Okay, fine. I always love people's reaction to this question.
I'm an introvert.
That is shocking.
Yeah,
I
do not like being in crowds. I like being on stage. I like large crowds watching me.
Yeah.
But I have a limit to my to the amount of socialization I can give.
You have an intake capacity that is a capacity.
Usually, it's about 2 to 3 hours of interaction with a group of people, and then I can't do it. I just gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that, and funny, it's interesting you said, because I've had a few artists that I've talked to say that. I feel like that's fairly common.
Yeah.
For a lot of artists, and maybe some people work out of it, some don't. I mean, I used to be the same way. Like for a long time, I was the same way. It's only been the last few years where I'm just like, yeah, people, yay. But
well, good for you.
Until a few years ago, I was right there with you, man.
Yeah.
I think you even got me beat. I don't think I could even do 2-3 hours in a crowd. It was like I had 10 minutes in me, and then I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I get that.
That's awesome. Well, it's not awesome. I'm sorry. But it's awesome that you're so willing to be so open and candid about that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
People are going to learn from this. You're going to continuously influence people through this interview. That's the idea. So what's the one thing or the one tool that you absolutely cannot live without as an artist, and why?
My guitar.
Fair.
Because I play guitar.
It's a great answer.
I don't know how else to answer that. Yeah.
I mean, that's a fine answer. You're allowed to answer that way. Guitar is acceptable.
Okay.
Always.
I mean, if I didn't have a guitar, I could pick up, like, I don't know, a tuba or something like that and try it out. But I've never played a tuba before.
Picturing you with a tuba is just making me laugh. Don't play tuba. I mean, you play tuba if you want.
Thanks.
Don't pick guitar. So what has been the most difficult piece of music for you to create, and why?
There's a song I'm still working on called The Realization that I wrote when I was 17.
Wow.
Many iterations of it, and obviously as matured, maybe. At least I've gotten older. Different influences. That was, in some way, it was the easiest because it just kind of came out. But I've never found a way to finish it.
Wow.
I mean, I've done like little demos and stuff. Just one song that I'm quite proud of that I've just never been able to get it complete.
Wow. That's intense. And I know what you mean. I've had ones like that.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one I'm working on now that is literally a song I wrote a decade ago that I'm just now finally like, okay, I can now write the music to this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So that's a trip, man. But 17, since you were 17, so that was like 10 years ago. Okay, good.
Give or take.
Good. So we're in the same boat here. Give or take a few decades, years, whatever. So what is? Let me ask you again. If you were going to write a book about your career up to this point, what would you title it?
Dumb and Dumber.
Which one are you?
And both.
Oh,
that's a progression.
Oh,
yeah. First started dumb, now dumber. Now, yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
I
want to know what this screenplay looks like.
No, I just keep on, pushing. I keep on hoping. I keep on wanting to make a career out of music, even though I've been trying since I was a teenager and have never really, feel like I've got to the place where I want to be. So that's it's dumb because it's really difficult to make in the arts, and dumber because I'm still trying.
Good for you, but I'll tell you what, man, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it's an interesting thing because even people that have, number one, making it is really by your own definition.
Sure.
Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, if you're famous and touring the world and you're rich off of it, then you've made it. Well, sure, but you really, even me, like, by no means am I swimming in rivers of money right now.
No.
But in a lot of ways, I consider I've made it in a sense.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you can keep doing it, I think it's pretty awesome. And that's one of the things I love about you is that you have this, like, it's like a youthfulness about it where you've never stopped being like super like a kid excited about being a musician. And that to me is how it should. That to me is a sign you're actually meant to do it,
Yeah.
I think it's fucking cool.
Well, thank you.
I really do. No, it's awesome. But it's your book. You can title it what you want to. And then, what are your plans for world domination?
Just to, I'd imagine the most reasonable thing would be simply to continue to evolve as a producer and try to build a larger client list while also producing my own work.
Hell yeah. Great. And then one last question.
Yeah.
And just to revisit the introduction to this show not only showcases the best of independent artists, it also explores what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. So, Jason, what's your truth?
My fundamental purpose as an artist?
Yeah. As you see it.
To experience and spread joy.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hell yes. Well, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for having me over to your place. Thanks for being a bro. Thanks for cooking with me.
Oh yeah,
that was
fun.
That was
totally fun. Oh man,
we had a French toast cook-off this morning. It was delicious. I don't think everybody won.
Yeah,
I mean, really, everybody won.
Yeah, and the bacon was crispy.
The bacon was very crispy.
It was good.
Who eats their bacon not crispy? We're not going to answer this question.
You're going to offend somebody out there.
I'm sure I will. Sorry, limp bacon eaters, but I'm not really sorry. But anyway, well, thank you again.
Thanks, Johnny.
This has been
a pleasure.
Yes. Oh, before we go, actually, I'm sorry. 60 seconds to plug anything you want. Everything Jason Haxton. Go.
60 seconds to plug it. Just for this, the purpose of this rock project. Me, Johnnie, kicking some serious ass writing and recording and playing and producing music. So the Rock Project band on Facebook. I'm still working on the website, but it's Rock Project. I think it's the Rock Project band. Yeah. .band.
Oh,
so anyways, because those domains are more readily available than the .coms.
Yes.
Other than that, if you're local in the Sacramento area, follow me on Facebook at Big Headed Guitarist, or on Instagram, and I'll keep you abreast of all the shows that I'm playing in or running sound for.
Excellent.
All right.
Good. Now we can end the show. Sorry, I almost cut you short there.
I didn't know I had.
Almost
Thank
your
you,
hair, just like your hair got cut short. I almost did that to you.
Yeah. So just the other day I had long, glorious,
flowing,
glorious, rocker hair, and now, it's
still glorious and luxurious. It's just shorter. It is.
All right. Thanks again.
Right on, man. Well,
right.
Thank you for being here, guys. For everyone watching, this has been the What's Your Truth podcast. See you on the next one later.
Yeah, you follow your own rules and you preach them on to me. But you don't think before you act, and you ain't got no business with me. You don't know. But tell me what's your truth? Oh, what's your truth?